Thank you. Thank you. So I'm wondering if this is what it feels like to be president. Thank you, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2018 State of the Orange County Address. Thank you, Rich and Monica May. Thank you also to Jones High School, our Girl Scouts and our Boy Scouts, Cece Tennille and the House of Blues Choir, and thank you to our Orange County Corrections and Fire Rescue Honor Guard for kicking off this afternoon's program. To everyone that's here today and to everyone that's watching via live stream, thank you for joining us. But more important, thank you for the amazing energy and support that you've provided over the last 8 years. You know, it was not quite that long ago when I took office, and I remember taking the oath and thinking to myself and trying to reassure myself that, you know, after many years of community involvement and 2 terms as a county commissioner, I was probably ready for this, right? Well, there were a few things I hadn't anticipated. Looking back, though, I have to say that I did know what I was doing in a couple of areas. The land use, you know, the zoning, the budgeting, I had a pretty good handle on that. There were things, though, I never imagined having to tackle. So it's things like the first time somebody told me that I would be leading the Board of County Commission in a karaoke competition. So my mom is sitting in the front row, and I remember when my mom broke it to me that I didn't sing very well, and I have not gotten any better about it since. So that was certainly not one of my high points as the mayor. But I will have to tell you that Brian Nelson, I hope he's here with us, he definitely took all the attention away from me with his wild rock and roll wig. I mean, he just stole the whole stage. So thank you for that, Commissioner, or now Mayor Nelson. I didn't imagine that I would have the opportunity to test drive a helicopter simulator while surrounded by military personnel. Now, that was very exciting. I will tell you, I did break a new record. I crashed the fastest that anybody has ever crashed that helicopter. I was also unaware that I would be operating a bulldozer for the code enforcement operation. And to be quite frank, I think I was pretty good at that. I did not realize I would have to dance my way through too many dance videos. And is Mayor Bruin here? Mayor Bruin, are you out there? There you are, Mayor Bruin. Mayor Bruin, I'm pretty sure we roped you into one of those. And I have to tell you, folks, that Mayor Bruin is a very good sport. Want to see what I'm talking about? Oh, come on, the video has to roll. I told you he was good. But seriously, I tell you what I did know. I knew from the beginning why I was running. I knew that as mayor, I wanted to create an era of robust transparency, of real public engagement, and unparalleled trust. I knew that I wanted to create that culture within Orange County government. And I knew that despite a recession, I wanted to create an environment in which opportunity was available to all of our residents, and where our young people, our entrepreneurs, and businesses of all types could flourish. I knew that our children and families would need special support, not only to overcome the impacts of the Great Recession, but to deal with the significant challenges in our ever-changing world. To tackle those issues and more, I knew that we would need to create a sustainable framework to ensure that Orange County government could achieve and maintain its promise as the best place in the world to live, work, and raise a family. And thanks to your help, your energy, and your contributions, those dreams are becoming a reality today. During the past 8 years, I've also leaned heavily on my amazing family. To my husband, Bruce, my 4 children, Josh, Max, Lisa, and Chase, and to my mom, you've been unwavering in your support of me and your counsel, and it has made me a better person and a better mayor. Thank you very much, and I love you, and I could not have done it without your support. And also with us here today is somebody that I consider part of the family, and that's Chase's longtime girlfriend, Tori. Tori, it's great to have you. It's great to have you. And my family is expanding soon because my oldest son, Josh, is engaged to an incredible young lady, Emily, and she couldn't be here with us today, but I'm looking forward to that engagement. And everybody in this audience knows what I'm looking forward to almost as much, right? Thank you, grandchildren. I am so proud also to serve with my second family, the awesome county staff that I work with every day. We have an incredible team, starting with Ajit Lachandani, our county administrator, Jeff Newton, our county attorney, our outstanding leadership team that includes Dr. George Rawls, Fire Chief Otto Droz, I see you out there, Eric Gassman, Chief Riley, Chris Testerman, Randy Singh, and Jim Harrison. Thank you all. And to my Chief of Staff, Graciela Noriega Jacobi, I can tell you all there's nothing that we have accomplished in Orange County that we didn't do as a team. And there are two people that were more critical to that team than anybody else, and that's Graciela and Ajit. So if I could ask our whole leadership team, if you all would stand up so that we can recognize you. And I don't think I've ever done this before, but this is my last State of the County, so I'm going to take a little executive privilege here. I want to recognize the other team, the team behind the team, and that is the team in my office. And I'm telling you, this group, they're young, they're enthusiastic, they're full of energy, they're a lot of fun to work with, and we're not just a team, we become a real family. So if I can ask the team in my office, if all of you all would stand so we can say thank you to you as well. And above all, to our amazing Board of County Commissioners, you have provided phenomenal leadership and commitment. Please join me again in thanking Commissioner Betsy Vanderlei, Commissioner Rod Love. I'm sure that you all are here. Where are you? Would you all stand up? Thank you. You're going to have to stand up. Commissioner Vanderlei, Commissioner Rod Love, who we just welcomed to the commission just about 2 weeks ago, and we definitely will still recognize our former District 2 Commissioner, even though he's not here in a wig, I don't think. Mayor, I hear you. Mayor Nelson. We also have with us, of course, Commissioner Pete Clark, Commissioner Jennifer Thompson, Commissioner Emily Bonilla, and Commissioner Victoria Siplin. Thank you all for being here, but more important, everything you do. And I'd also like to recognize our former county officials who are here, including Orange County Mayor Richard Crotty, former Orange County District 1 County Commissioner, I saw him just a minute ago, Scott Boyd, and former District 3 County Commissioner John Martinez. There are so many other distinguished people in this room and public servants, and I would ask that we remember that it's on the heels of all of these great leaders and everyone that has come before us that we've been able to do the things that we've done. Everyone who has served Orange County in the past in a leadership role, would you please stand so we can recognize you as well? As I said, I make a point of identifying these public servants because their support has been instrumental for so many of our long-term achievements. Together with you, our community partners and advocates, it's our shared commitment to Orange County that has helped us move mountains. And the operational platform for all that we've been able to do, it's our fiscal strength coupled with a commitment to excellence and innovation. To reflect on that success, let's take a quick look back. If you'll remember, I took office on the heels, no, you couldn't possibly forget, I took office on the heels of the Great Recession, during which we lost approximately $150 million in annual revenue. And as you'll see, the compounded effect of that loss was nearly $650 million. Following the efforts of Mayor Crotty, I took additional steps to slash costs, reorganize our employee structure, and increase efficiencies. And while the last several years we've seen some healthy growth in revenues, bear in mind that it was just 2016 when we recovered from our pre-recession levels. Thanks to years of dedicated efforts, today our bond and credit ratings are routinely rated AAA. That says to the whole world that we are exemplary students of your tax dollars. I talk about these numbers and ratings for an important reason. I like to brag. Okay, fine. Although we are obviously experiencing an era of economic prosperity, including job and wage growth, to me it's critical that we view our economy holistically, particularly as we face or may face another cut in property taxes, depending upon what the voters choose to do in November. And knowing that economies do experience volatility, it's important that we focus so intently on boosting our fiscal management practices and improving our creditworthiness. Other economic indicators are equally as strong. Building permits are being issued at a pace we haven't seen in years. 84,000 last year with a valuation of more than $2.3 billion. We've come a long way since I took office when our building department had to be furloughed due to the lack of demand and funding. Mayor Crowder, you all may remember those dark days. Today, we are busting at the seams, literally. We are expanding our building and permitting department, and we're doing that both physically and virtually, trying to keep pace with the demand. Our tourism and hospitality sectors are stronger than ever, generating $70 billion of economic impact annually, and supporting roughly 1 in 3 jobs, and welcoming more than 72 million visitors just last year. This is our 8th year in a row as #1 travel destination in the United States. And let's not forget, that brings in $255 million of tourist development taxes just last year. Thanks to the superior customer service of our frontline workers, we've made Central Florida the envy of the global hospitality market. Thank you to all of our tourism leaders. Would you all stand so we can recognize you as well? A little bashful group there. The upshot of these and so many other strategies, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that the state of Orange County is, in fact, very strong. Also, it's important to our citizens, not just that we are concerned with the business climate, but that we also work to improve the climate of trust, transparency, and public engagement. For me, that begins with the culture of Orange County government and how we treat our taxpayers, our guests, and it's equally important how we treat our own staff. Building on my 2008 Citizen Participation Bill of Rights, which guarantees that every citizen has the opportunity to speak at every one of our board meetings before we begin debate, because we recognize it's important that we hear from our citizens. We've worked to expand access and accountability. We've made it easier for our residents, guests, and businesses to engage with us through outstanding OCFL apps, and with great success. From public safety to public engagement, we have created a full suite of cutting-edge apps. In fact, shortly after our OCF alert rollout, we were invited to Washington for a FEMA meeting hosted by President Obama. And we were the only local government in the meeting, which showcased groundbreaking technology and emergency communications platforms. Raphael Mena, Raphael, are you here? Raphael, there you are, Raphael. Raphael is the director of our ISS, and Raphael and his team are rock stars in the IT world. They represent a level of talent that is consistent throughout our organization. And as I think about the staff throughout Orange County, I am so proud of their professionalism and their commitment to our citizens and our community. Orange County employees have something that I like to call public service DNA. It's not scientifically proven, but I'm absolutely certain it exists. It's this quality that some people possess where they are just simply driven to make a difference in the lives of others. We simply could not have accomplished all that we've accomplished here in Orange County without the hard work of every one of our county employees. Those of you who are here, stand up and take a quick bow. With a dedicated team like ours and a community that is equally capable and compassionate, it is no wonder that we've been able to weather the storms as well as we have. When we were faced with 2 years of serious hurricane threats, including the back-to-back hurricanes Maria and Irma, we didn't need to ask our staff or our residents for cooperation. This community responded seamlessly and generously, a true embodiment of our Neighbors Helping Neighbors philosophy. From providing assistance to Hurricane Harvey flood victims in Texas, to welcoming storm-battered evacuees from Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, our actions demonstrated our culture of compassion and collaboration. Together, we weathered these storms. And together, our community endured a nightmare that none of us could have ever imagined, when in the early morning hours of June 12, 2016, the Pulse nightclub was attacked. There's really no way to sum up the impact of that tragedy or the depth of heartbreak and sorrow that so many have experienced, especially within our LGBTQ, our Latinx, and Hispanic communities. But just as overwhelming as that loss was, the response of our community was equally overwhelming. Never would I have imagined the outpouring of love and unity or the depth of our strength and resilience. As a community, we share a commitment to make sure that the world never forgets our 49 Pulse Angels. Barbara, Earl, the whole team at One Pulse Foundation, we stand with you and we applaud your determination to create a museum and a memorial. You know that you will always have my support. Through a partnership with the City of Orlando and United Way, we opened the Orlando United Assistance Center at an unused building on Michigan Avenue. That assistance center is still open today, just as open as the hearts are of our community. And I want you to know that thanks to the around-the-clock efforts of so many volunteers, including some very special helpers from Walt Disney World, we opened the doors to that facility within 48 hours of selecting the location. Now that meant new carpet, new paint, new decorations for the family and children areas, virtually all of it donated as well as the volunteer labor. We didn't wait to ask for the state or federal government. We got right to work. And that model has worked so well. It's exactly what we did to assist Hurricane Maria evacuees. In fact, before FEMA or the state of Florida could even mobilize their response, it was Orange County, in partnership with United Way, the Hispanic community, our faith leaders, and countless other regional partners like Osceola County, Seminole County, the City of Orlando, and Kissimmee, and Orange County Public Schools, all pitched in to assist evacuating families from Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. From housing to medicine, schools, and food, this community united as one. That's what good government and strong community collaboration can do. And ladies and gentlemen, please, if you were involved in any of these life-changing and life-saving initiatives, please stand so that we can recognize you. In particular, to our new community partner, who is new to our community, but certainly not new to our community's culture, and that's United Way President and CEO, Jeff Hayward. Jeff, you really hit the ground running. Thank you for your leadership. Since the earliest days of my administration, we have never shied away from tackling the most challenging issues. One example is how we have taken on the national opioid crisis. In 2015, I convened the Orange County Heroin Task Force, bringing together community leaders and experts in the areas of healthcare, law enforcement, treatment, education, and prevention. That collaboration resulted in changes to our approach to treatment and prevention of this deadly opioid epidemic. Because of their efforts, I had the honor of being one of the few local government officials called to Washington to testify before both the House and the Senate subcommittees. And one of the most tangible results of their efforts is that life-saving naloxone is now carried by all Orange County and City of Orlando law enforcement officers, not just our EMT or medical personnel. Another outcome of the Heroin Task Force is that the state has adopted our recommendation to make naloxone available without a prescription. While the epidemic of opioid has devastated and had deadly impacts on communities across our nation, perhaps the most unimaginable public safety crisis we face today is the threat occurring in our most cherished institutions, our schools and places of worship. Until recently, these places were considered safe havens, untouchable by evil. Tragically, this morning in Texas, another school shooting occurred. And while it's too early to fully understand what occurred or why, we do know that too many lives were lost, and we do know that our hearts break with each family and each friend of the affected. We paused earlier for a moment of silence, but I would ask that you remember those who are mourning and grieving in the days and weeks that follow. Our community did that for us. And our nation did as well. And it makes a difference. And although this shooting took place halfway across the country, we know that every one of these school shootings, from Columbine to Sandy Hook to Parkland to Santa Fe, and every other one I can't begin to mention, every single one affects every child across this nation, every parent and every teacher, and every one of us is affected. As school districts rush to harden their campuses, and lawmakers grapple with how to address gun violence, we, our Board of County Commissioners, and your county government have taken action and will continue to take the actions that we can to mitigate the risk to our children and our community. In nearly every one of these school shootings, there was one thing in common, and that was serious mental illness. Friends, family members often reached out for help to no avail. Our nation has to do better. Here in Orange County, here's what we've started. We've implemented changes in response to Sandy Hook, the first school shooting that happened while I was mayor. You may recall that in early 2013, as an immediate response, we funded deputies for elementary schools as a temporary enhancement of public safety. But by the summer of that year, we convened a youth mental health commission. And that involved a lot of experts from the areas of disciplines from education to treatment to law enforcement to families, the entire spectrum. As a result of their great work, we have developed hands-on programs, intervention resources, and anti-stigma campaigns. One of those programs, Wrap Around Orange, our broadest response tool, has been expanded to include youth up to 21 years of age. With state grants, we've added crisis intervention team training for law enforcement officers that is specifically focused on responding to youth in crisis. Additionally, we've created a model program for children experiencing a true mental health crisis, our Children's Mobile Crisis Service. To bring home the importance of this program, let me take you back to a tragic event that happened in our community in early 2014. As we will all remember, our hearts were broken when Windermere police officer Robbie German was senselessly gunned down by two suicidal teens. Both of those teens then took their own lives. As we would come to find out in the days just prior, both teens' mothers had called law enforcement in their own county. They were concerned about their children's state of mind, specifically concerned that they were suicidal. From the first time that I met Officer German's parents, Tim and Debbie, I pledged that we would change our youth mental health services here in Orange County so that parents and families and teachers could seek crisis assistance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's what we have done. Today, families dealing with a spiraling mental health crisis can get help. Not only does this help the families, it also lifts a heavy and unreasonable burden on our law enforcement officers who now have access to qualified mental health professionals when they encounter a young person in crisis. I also want to recognize the strength and collaboration of our local law enforcement community. Immediately following the Parkland shooting, I reached out to Danny Banks, FDLE Special Agent in charge, to see if we had a better channel of communication regarding individuals of special concern. He had already begun the process of coordinating with the Central Florida Intelligence Exchange under the Sheriff's Office and with the Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation under Director Ron Stucker. They are all working together to ensure seamless communication. With regard to York County Commissioners, less than 2 weeks ago, we took another important public safety step by closing the notorious gun show loophole. We did this through the unanimous passage of an ordinance that requires criminal background checks and a 3-day waiting period for everyone who purchases a firearm at a gun show, flea market, or firearms exhibit, a requirement that otherwise only applied if you were purchasing from a firearm from a licensed gun dealer at one of those events. Public safety will no doubt continue to be a challenge and a top priority, but let's not forget what sets this community apart in a tough issues like this. It's our ability to collaborate. It's our ability to set aside partisan politics and other barriers to ensure that we are working in unison for the safety and welfare of our citizens, that they always come first. And that's exactly how we're approaching affordable housing. Of course, when it comes to affordable housing, we're not alone. This too is a national issue. To make real and sustainable progress, we brought all of the key regional players together, including planners, technical advisors, builders, and developers, to offer recommendations for a regional collaborative approach to affordable housing. We'll be rolling out our Affordable Housing Executive Summer shortly, with recommendations that will serve as the blueprint for Central Florida and may well serve as a guide for other communities across our nation. In addition to housing, to help low-income families and individuals succeed, we've also focused an entire range of strategic resources on our proud communities in need of more support. From the wonderful new Holden Heights Community Center, a bustling hub of family and educational activities, to places like Evans High School in Pine Hills, which has become a true neighborhood and family gathering center. Thanks to Orange County Public Schools and support from our Neighborhood Improvement District and other community partners, real change and real opportunity is underway. And every one of these initiatives has succeeded because of the vision and the commitment of our Board of County Commissioners, our staff, our partners, and all of you. Speaking of partners, we couldn't have accomplished all that we have without the incredible commitment of our advisory and volunteer boards. Please won't all of our community leaders, advisory board members, and volunteers, won't you stand so that we can recognize you? And I want to give a special shout out to Lisa Franchini and the entire Animal Services Advisory Board. Well, she already got a clap. She definitely brought her own fan club. And to Paul Wing, who not only serves on the advisory board, but founded Positive. Over the last 5 years, working together, we've increased our animal adoption rate by more than 90%. That's something to celebrate. So it's thanks to the incredible testimony, to the passion and the hard work of our animal services team that we've made such strides, and we're not finished yet. In addition to tremendous community leadership, we've been blessed with energetic, dedicated public servants, including our treasured first responders. Remember, while you're in the comfort of and the safety of your homes, it's our firefighters, our firefighters, our EMTs, our officers and deputies who are on the job, often in harm's way. So when we talk about Orange County as the best place to live, work, and raise a family, let us never forget the tremendous sacrifice and dedication of all of our first responders. And above all, let us always remember and honor those we have lost in the line of duty. Tragically, in just the 8 years that I have served as mayor, we have lost far too many of our law enforcement heroes here in Central Florida. Please join me in a moment of silence to recognize those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you, and Godspeed. When we talk about community engagement, community servants, and everyday heroes, here in Orange County, that's a bigger club than you might think. Whether it's time for our annual holiday toy drive or our Adopt a Fire Station initiative, the people of Orange County are generous and thoughtful in their efforts to give. It just seems to be part of our whole community's DNA. In fact, through my Office of Public Engagement and Community Affairs, we've been privileged to work with leaders from all sectors and all walks of life, including the thousands of high school students who've attended our annual youth leadership conferences. Let me tell you, these are young people of astonishing insight. They are determined, they are engaged, and this next generation of leaders is going to make a difference. So to all of the parents and teachers, the neighbors, coaches, and mentors who have guided their journey, thank you. Today, I am proud to announce that with your help and in their hands, the state of Orange County's future is bright. And it's not just our young people. We've benefited from the engagement and the passion of so many others, including our Head Start Foster Grandparents program, something that I may be looking into shortly. It's heartwarming to see the deep bonds that form on both sides of these relationships. Among the most measurable and lasting outcomes is the community, economic, and cultural developments that have occurred. Join me in a look at some of the awesome and amazing milestones we've accomplished. Wow. Thank you, Orange County. That's truly an awesome story of hard work and achievement and much to celebrate. We've also worked tirelessly to nurture an environment that supports innovation and creativity, not just in how we operate as a government, but in the communities that we're creating in the future. Perhaps nowhere is this more evident than in communities like Horizons West, an example of visionary planning and a great place to live. This is a complete community approach. You know it as communities where you can live, work, and play, where kids can walk to school, where parks and trails are a centerpiece of our community, not an afterthought, where work centers are integrated into a community. Horizon West has its own downtown core brimming with economic opportunity. And just as Lake Nona's Medical City stands as a shining example of award-winning planning and livability on the east side of Orange County, Horizon West will serve as a highly desirable live, work, and play community on the west. And let's not forget about another key driver of our economy and awesome quality of life: health, wellness, and education. Once again, from east to west to downtown, we're exploding with opportunity. I can't wait to see what the next chapter brings for Medical City, our hospital STEMs, our hospital systems, our wellness clusters, Valencia, Rollins, and UCF. And Dr. Whitaker, I've just got one thing to say to you. Charge on. We've also worked, thank you. We've also worked tirelessly to nurture an environment that supports good jobs, because hand in hand with crucial factors like housing, health, and education, good jobs are foundational to the strength of our families. While the private sector creates those jobs, it's the job of government to create a welcoming environment and to help provide the tools for success. I'm so proud that working together, we're seeing measurable, sustainable outcomes. Since the height of the recession, we've experienced a dramatic decline in Orange County's unemployment rate, dropping from 10.7% when I took office to a current rate of just 3.2%. During that same During that same period, Orange County has added 160,000 new jobs, and we've won over 50 new development projects. Within our treasured but hard-hit agricultural industries, we're hopeful that recently announced disaster assistance will help our citrus farmers recover from last year's wildfires, as well as the hit that they took from Hurricane Irma. Research continues into strengthening our citrus stocks, so as we continue to support our founding pioneers, our farmers, we know that they are a crucial part of Central Florida's legacy, and they will be a future part of our future. In follow-up to our region's branding campaign, we're transforming how the world marketplace views Central Florida. A key goal of the campaign was to tell our story effectively and persuasively, so we would make the short list of site selectors, economic development professionals, and corporate relocation managers. The results have been impressive, with 490 leads, 134 prospect visits, and 270 business retention and expansion visits. We've extended or hosted 174 development missions, and a key metric in this digital age, we've garnered more than $2 billion in media hits. Without question, today we are making the short list. And Tim Giuliani, thank you for your continued leadership on those efforts, and welcome back to Orlando. We've also launched some economic initiatives, including our own economic summits, our modeling simulation and training Blue Ribbon Task Force, our modeling simulation summits and related tech matches, the Central Florida International Trade Office, and our Business Assistance for Neighborhood Grant program. And when it comes to quality of life, the tremendous investments we've been able to make, many of them a direct result of our strong tourism economy, we are in a pretty special place here in Orlando. Just think of what we've achieved just in 8 years. The acclaimed Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts and Phase 2 right next door, under construction and fully funded, as well as the Center for Arts Plaza, Camping World Stadium, essentially rebuilt, and of course the Amway opened. Mayor Crotty, you and I were there for the official opening of that right before I was elected, but what great work. Mayor Crotty, good job on putting together the framework that made these venues a reality. And with these venues, we've welcomed a world of fans, many of them local, some of them from elsewhere. But we've welcomed athletes and performers, including the NFL Pro Bowl, the NBA All-Star Game. We've celebrated soccer in so many ways, from Orlando City Soccer and the Pride to Copa. WrestleMania, is in a world and category of its own. And of course, we are honored to welcome so many landmark economic development projects, from Amazon to ADP, this is not a radio station, KPMG to Lockheed Martin, Vox, and many more. Please, won't all of our hardworking job creators and partners stand to be recognized? And accompanying our robust economy, how about the extraordinary transformation that is taking place on our roads? Has anybody missed that, by the way? Over the next 5 years, the region will invest nearly $12 billion in Central Florida's massive transportation system, with improvements on the I-4 Alternate and beyond, the opening of Sunrail Phase 2, which is just around the corner, the completion of the Wekiva Parkway, the expansion of the Orlando International Airport, complete with an intermodal station that will connect Orlando to Miami via Brightline. There's a lot happening in our region. But not only are we in the midst of massive regional transportation improvements, we are also right in the midst of our INVEST program. During the next 5 years, through the Orange County $200 million INVEST program, more than 200 miles of key local roads will be constructed, improved, widened, or rebuilt. Now, the message behind this is we're going to have to tolerate a lot more congestion for a little while longer. We're all going to get frustrated, but at the end, there's a silver lining, and that is wider, better roads and a transit system that's going to serve our community much better. So thank you for your patience while we get through this. And equally important, when we're talking about patience, is pedestrian and bicycle safety. As the best community in which to live, work, and raise, we need to do a little bit better when it comes to pedestrian safety. So as we embrace and are excited about the Coast to Coast Bike Trail, we're working hard to change our approach to sharing the road. And that change starts by how we as government design our roadways with the goal of increasing bicycle and pedestrian safety by design. But while safety improvements are vital, more important than that is that how we change our thoughts and how we act and react when we share the road. And that's all of us. That's us as drivers. That's us when we're on our bike, and that's us when we're pedestrians. All of us have a role to play in making pedestrian and bicycle safety a reality. And to ensure that our tremendous progress continues, we've initiated a comprehensive sustainability plan called Our Home for Life. Our Home for Life provides a roadmap for a more prosperous, resilient, and diverse economy. With natural, healthy resources, a thriving, creative, and innovative environment. And above all, our sustainability plan supports a community culture that is uniquely our own. A culture that cares for those in need, a culture that celebrates diversity as our greatest strength, where optimism, hope, and kindness prevail. A community where citizens today, tomorrow, and for generations to come will fondly and proudly call Orange County their home. In reflecting on this amazing era of recovery, discovery, and transformation, an era of tragedy and triumph, of unity and resilience, I believe we have truly become the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Working with each of you and with so many others throughout Central Florida, this has truly been the honor and privilege of a lifetime. May God bless each of you and all those who stand in support of Orange County. Thank you.